your closet frustrate you? Does it feel impossible to find the things that you want? And honestly, just as equally as hard to put things away? Well, you are in the right place. Let me add my friend Margaret here. We are going to be talking all about closets. We're going to be talking all about organizing and how to keep your closet reflective of your style, but also make it easy for you to find the things that you want to wear and also to put them away. Margaret, are you here? Hey.
Yes, I am. I had to turn my camera around, but I'm here.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I'm really excited for this chat. I've been looking forward to it.
I love doing it with you too, because we spend a lot of our lives in closets, but from a different standpoint. So I'm really excited to hear what you've got to share.
Me too. And I know that my followers are excited. Guys, if you are pumped, can we have like a little hello, a wave in there? Because we want to hear from you guys and know what you want to be hearing from us. So for those of you joining us from Margaret's side of the world, I'm Joanna Heyman. I am a personal stylist. So I help women align their personalities with the way that they look on the outside, because a lot of times we're getting dressed and it doesn't really feel like us. And I see that a lot with people who have a hard time getting dressed in the morning. So if you are trying on outfit after outfit after outfit, waiting for the one that feels like you, this conversation is for you.
Absolutely. And I'm Margaret. I'm a virtual organizer, which means that I work with people all over the U.S. I help them get decluttered. I help them get organized and just get that clutter, that stress, the stuff out of their lives. I actually worked in the field as a professional organizer for the last 20 years. For the last little bit over a year, I've been doing it virtually, and I like both. But I love virtual because one of the things it lets me do is teach. And I'm all about teaching. So why are we doing something? How can you do it? How can you sustain it when we're not working together? So yeah. I am absolutely loving the virtual world.
That's awesome. Yeah, sustainability I think is key, because like we can do it, but when we're gone, we want to make sure that that closet stays organized and looking beautiful.
And we love them to call us back when they need us, but you know, not all the time. We want you to be able to, between checking in, take care of it.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Guys, we want to hear from you. How are you all feeling about your closets right now? Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the comments, just so we know what like the temperature gauge is of the crowd here. Yeah, we would love to hear. But I think we're going to start by really talking about the first steps of cleaning out your closet, which can feel very overwhelming. So I always recommend to take pieces out in small groups. You're going to go category by category. So start with your shirts and pull 5 out at a time and just take a look at them. See if you love it. If you love it, you get to keep it no matter what. If you don't love it, if you're not sure about it, there's some things that you can really ask yourself to decide whether or not you're going to hang on to it. Do you have other things in your closet that you can wear it with? Do you know where you're wearing this item? And then you're going to really evaluate the state of the item. Does it have holes? Does it need repairing? Does it need alterations? Like maybe you're not wearing it because it's too small or too big. So just really evaluating piece by piece to decide if it is reflective of who you are and of where you're going. And that can be the trickiest part. Really, it's just taking them all out, taking the time to do it, and it can seem so daunting. But if you go small piece by piece, it'll feel a lot more manageable. Do you agree, Margaret?
I absolutely agree. If anybody's following me on social media, the one thing they see me doing is going, you will get further doing little bits consistently than looking for that big block of time. So 100%.
Yeah. If you have the time, just seize it and get a little bit done. And plus, like getting that part done, that little part, I feel like will motivate you a little bit to keep it going and do more later on. So once you do finally go through an entire category, I recommend you look at that and see what's missing. And I call this your gap list. And I do this with all of my clients that I work with one-on-one. I will evaluate a category of clothing and see what's missing. So maybe it's a basic white tee. Maybe it's a more fun, exciting, you know, dramatic top that really reflects your style. Whatever it is, just write it down, and that will kind of be your guide for your shopping as you move forward. What else can I tell you guys about the style aspect? Oh, another great thing that will kind of help you keep you organized within your closet, I believe, is taking pictures of the things that you like. So when you do find an outfit that works for you, take a quick selfie, and then you'll always have that to reference. Keep like a folder in your photos, and that way when it's time to get dressed, you know exactly what you're going for. And that'll just also kind of keep your whole style persona together. You'll really start to get a feel of what you're drawn to.
Hey, Joanna, I'm going to slip in here too and piggyback on that because I know I will forget it later. But on the organizing side of things, once you have, whether it's a closet or an area, the way you like it, do what Joanna said, take a picture. Because when you are in that place where you don't believe you can do it, you've got a picture to look back and go, yep, I did it once. If you're in that place like, I don't even know what to do, you got a picture and like, I just copy the picture. So all about taking the pictures. Love it, Joanna. Thanks.
That is a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, what else can we do to keep the organization going? What do you have to share?
Well, you want me to share some things?
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that okay, I will. Viewers, if you have any things that you do as you're editing wardrobes that you are wondering if it's right or if you think you've hit a winner, be sure to share it. Same as I'm talking about organization here. If you've got something you're doing that works or doesn't work, share it. We love it. Okay, so as an organizer, before I come in and even have people start working on clothes, I always say we've got to define the purpose of the space. So if it's a kitchen, we do that. If it's a closet, we do that. So this may sound silly, but what is the purpose of your closet? Most people, not all people, for most people, it really is storing clothes. I say not all people because for some people who are highly visual, if it's behind closed doors, it doesn't exist. And I have other options if that's you, but for most of us, it's closed.
That's so true.
However, I see so many closets that are closed and toolboxes and the kids' third grade social studies project, all these things. Don't do that. I think that most closets are better off if they're just clothing. And if I think a lot of times there's room for memorabilia, because with memorabilia, you know, yearbooks and special pictures and movie tickets and stuff like that, we want boundaries. We want containers that contain these things, and they're going to fit in there. But skip the third grade project, the toolbox, all that stuff. If it doesn't fit your defined purpose, don't do it.
Yeah.
Another tip I want to share here, and there's a couple things related to it, is friction. When things are hard, when there's friction, we don't do them. So make sure that you can get into your closet easily. And that may sound like what does that mean? I see a lot of bedrooms where there's a chair, usually it's a chair, that's kind of blocking the closet. Don't do that. The other thing related to that, and I'm going to see if, once I share this, I'm going to see if Joanna has found this to be the case for her. I highly recommend, whether it's closets, dressers, any kind of drawer, don't fill them more than 2/3 to 3/4 full. If it's that friction again, if everything is full and now you come to put some laundry back in the closet, where's it going to go? You have to shove. It's not fun. It's hard. Stuff tends to stay in the laundry basket.
Yeah.
So, Joanna, have you seen that too?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you said not to hide things, right? The idea that if you can't see it, you're not going to wear it, and if there's no room for things, then you have nowhere to put it. I mean, it sounds so simple, but yes, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. When Joanna and I were kind of sharing notes about what we wanted to talk about on this, one of the terms she used that I use all the time, so I realized we share this, is prime real estate. So I'm going to give an example, and I'm sure Joanna has other things that she would share, but wedding dresses. I guarantee you're not wearing that baby once a week. It shouldn't get prime real estate in your closet. What can you do with it? Well, a lot of times having it boxed professionally is going to preserve it, and then you can put it on the top shelf of the closet, a guest closet, something like that. But I'm just using that as an example. If it's something you're not wearing all the time, find another place to keep it. And I do like to talk to people about that because I don't want to take a mess from one place and move it to another. But there are ways we can handle that. Just remember, the stuff that you're wearing most frequently gets the prime real estate.
The things
Joanna,
that
how do you see that play out?
I find people keep things in their closets that are not their current size. And it's like they love it and they don't want to get rid of it. But I think actually when you're doing that, like you said, you're taking up prime real estate of an item you're not wearing. And I also think it has this tendency to make us feel bad about ourselves. Like, oh, we can't fit in that anymore. And you're looking at it every day. And if you just, I'm not saying to get rid of it if you love it, but put it in a box, put it in the basement, the attic, whatever, and come back to it when you're ready. But don't, I promise if it's a weight change or something that you're trying to go for, having clothes in your closet that fit you and that you're currently wearing are going to help you accept the body and love the body that you're currently in. And also if you're trying to make a change, kind of help you along that road as well. And otherwise it's just like you put those jeans on and then they don't fit and then you just start your day feeling awful.
Yeah, one of the things too, kind of related and yet a little bit different is, and I've shared, actually it was Joanna's post about her wedding dress that I think I said 9 years, but I think you'd been married 11 years. Gorgeous, gorgeous picture of her in this wedding dress, but she passed it on because what is she going to do with it? So the idea that maybe you used to wear 4-inch heels, but let me tell you, you get to an age, you're not wearing 4-inch heels. That's okay. Those things had their day. You enjoyed them. You loved them. Pass them on because now you have room to make new memories and find new loves in your closet.
It's true. I talk a lot about that with my clients when I'm working in their closets, doing these closet edits together, is the idea of creating space, both physically for what's to come and also emotionally, and letting go of the things that were maybe holding you back a little bit and creating space within you and your wardrobe to accept the new things that are coming, for sure.
And kind of with that, creating space for who you are today and the new you, the you want to become. This is the professional organizer speaking, but don't cheat. And what cheating is, okay, I'm not going to keep this in my closet because Margaret and Joanna said, not wise. I'm going to stick it in my husband's closet or my kid's closet. I see that a lot. You know what? You still have some bondage to that stuff. Make a clean break. When it's time for it to go, if it's not blessing you, let it bless somebody else. Give it away.
Yeah, you're so right. And Margaret, we actually got a question I want to address here.
Cool.
Someone said that they tend to over-categorize their items. So like a shirt for this, a shirt for that. Maybe this is for work and this is for weekends. And they want to know if they should use less or larger groupings. And that's a really interesting question, I think, an approach of how you're looking at your wardrobe instead of as a whole and thinking about all the different, from a style perspective, I love taking a piece and being able to wear it in multiple ways. So if you're kind of pigeonholing something to, I only wear this to the office, you're like cutting the life out of the garment. And I would recommend thinking about all the different ways that you can wear it to any occasion. And I don't know, Margaret, do you have any thoughts on this from an organizer?
I was going to make a pitch for you because I have had, my daughter has a good eye for style, and she has been in closets with me, professional organizer. I know how to get rid of stuff. And she's looked at me holding up something like, yeah. And she'd go, oh, Mom, you can do better. Joanna is your person for that. If you have something you really love, you don't want to get rid of it, but you have no clue what to do with this thing, Joanna, she's got an eye for it. She can do it. Reach out to her. So
thank you. Yeah. This is what I do all day, every day. And sometimes you need those fresh eyes to see it in a different light, for sure.
Yeah. One of the things I like to encourage people too is, okay, so you've edited your wardrobe and you're looking good. And you've organized it, you've decluttered, things are looking good. Don't think you're done. Now, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but nothing stays the way it was. You have to maintain these things. It doesn't mean you have to go in and do a re-edit every week or declutter every week, but expect to have to once or twice a year, kind of a minimum, go in and just redo it. It'll take a lot less time,
Yeah.
but you get that dopamine back of like, ooh, this feels good, and it
Yeah.
costs you a whole lot less energy.
Yes. I recommend it doing seasonally, like a spring and a summer clean out, fall and winter, because, you know, especially we both live in Pennsylvania, we're wearing different things throughout the seasons. And because take out the clutter, again, it just makes it easier to see and easier to put things back. So Margaret, I know people, and me especially, are very excited to hear about the tips for putting things back.
So putting things back, one of the things that Joanna's had us do is take everything out and find out what we're keeping and group things and all that. You don't have to empty your closet to reset it, but a lot of times it's easier because you've purged as you've taken it out, and now you can see your actual space. Because believe it or not, when things are there, you're not seeing it like it is. You can see the shelves, you can see the bars. And if we've defined the purpose of the closet, we've said it's for clothes and memorabilia. Okay, where are clothes and memorabilia going to go? Do I want shoes on shelving and all over the floor, or do I want them in just one space? So even within a space, you're defining the space. This is something I help people with, because maybe that sounds complicated. It really isn't, or at least I've been doing it long enough, it's not to me. But when you do that, then you may find out that, oh, I have 3 pairs of shoes too many. I can let go of these 3. So once again, you're never ever crowding stuff back in. You're keeping in mind that prime real estate. So you've decided to keep something, and let's say you wear it once a year to a Christmas function. That's a candidate for not keeping, but not putting it back in the closet. You're always keeping in mind, I don't want to fill it more than 2/3 to 3/4 full. Something that has maybe nothing to do with organization directly, but it's huge, lighting. And Joanna's going to agree with that, I know. If you can't see into your closet well, that's actually friction. You're making it difficult, and anything that's difficult, we avoid. So you're probably only going to wear those things that are right in the front, easy to get to. A lot of talking, I could talk for hours and days, but that gives you a few things.
Creatures of habits too. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes into all the idea of we just automatically, subconsciously reach for the same garments over and over. But again, if you can see it and there's space and you make it a little more pleasurable for you to be in your closet, it might spark some of that creativity and that idea of making a new choice. Because I hear over and over that women are like, oh, I wear the same thing all the time. I'm sick of this. But trust me, I've never been in a closet and been like, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
I've been in hundreds of closets. All of you have enough clothes. It's just the idea of being able to see it and then being able to try things in a new way.
One of the things I did, and see, because when you're an organizer, you're thinking about space, but also organizing time. And I hate wasting time when I don't have to. And so every once in a while, I'm not the style maven, but every once in a while I hit something like, man, the accessories, the outfit, it looks really good. And I got a lot of compliments. I actually record it on a file on my phone, like, nobody else could even understand what the names of the pieces are, but I know what they are. I don't have to think. I just look and boom, boom, boom,
or
copy it.
Take a picture.
It looks like your style book.
Pardon?
Is that kind of like your style book? The same idea of putting things together or?
Yes, that is something that I do. Is I'll make I call them lookbooks of, if we work together, I would make we'd have photographs of everything in a virtual closet, and then I can put looks together. And again, people at home on their own can do this just by taking selfies as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that visual piece is quite important. One other thing that I thought of as you were talking about putting things back in, one other tip that every time I redo a closet, I will put all the garments back in with the hangers facing like the wrong way. So the hook will actually be facing toward you on the bar. And then as you wear a piece and you take it out and you go to put it back in, you put it back in the correct way. And then at the end of the season, that's like just a really quick, easy way to see what you did and did not wear. And that could be an easy, you know what? This has been sitting here for 6 months and I never touched it. What am I doing with it? Getting it out.
I totally love that idea. That is such a professional organizer idea, because it shows you that either start wearing it or let it go.
My family probably laugh at you. I laugh that you would call me a professional organizer. I always tell my clients I make it more beautiful than when I arrived, but that's why I wanted to connect with you for sure. You are the organizer.
If you guys need a vision, and this is another concept that Joanna and I have shared, if you need a vision, think a store, think merchandising. If you go into a store, like I think, no offense, Walmart, but like a lot of times things are just jammed together, aisles are maybe close together. It's not fun. There's nothing satisfying about it. But then you go into a boutique and think there's space, and it's just a different experience, and you can actually have that in your own closet. You really can.
Yeah, you really can. You can get beautiful fixtures. Having matching hangers really helps keep it feel more organized and more together. Yeah. The lighting, like you said.
Hangers are a real thing, because I'm in a group with professional organizers, and sometimes the thread on hangers is like, oh my goodness, you would think hangers were like, everything. But yeah, they're important. They're a big deal.
They are. I agree. That's usually like the first thing that I change is the hangers. The other thing that you can do to sort of keep the clothes organized as you go is I like to keep 2 baskets in my closet. I keep one for clean clothes that have been tried on and are going to be put away, but like maybe you just don't have time in that moment. And then I keep another basket of things that are tried on, and I decided, you know what, my body's changed, this isn't for me, or I just don't like this anymore. For whatever reason, it's not something that you want to keep. And that way you just sort of have an ongoing donation pile. But it's tucked away out of sight, but you don't feel like you have to wait for that 2 times a year to really do the big closet overhaul. You can sort of do it as you're getting dressed every single day.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to share is, okay, I am a professional organizer, so I do this. This is TMI, but when I take off clothes at night to get into jammies, I just drop my clothes on the floor. I'm a morning person. I don't do things at night, but every morning I hang up the stuff from the night before. So I'm doing it daily. Some of y'all don't do that. I think it's easier to do it daily, but it's okay. There are no rules in organizing. There's no organizing police. They're not coming to your house. But some good guidelines are be regular in picking up things. And so here's the concept I wanted to share. Think of clutter, and clutter can be one thing that's out of place. Now don't panic, but think of it as a seed. If you, and that seed is a weed, if you pluck the weed when it's just starting to be a problem, no big deal. If you let it go, it really grows, blossoms, and invites friends in. So have some kind of a regular system, whether it's my daily morning thing or it's once a week, that you're going back in and you're just taking care of all the little pieces that don't belong so they don't become seeds of clutter.
I like that. And so sort of creating like consistent habits. That is really good.
And make it fun. Like for me, it's easy. I just do it in the morning, no biggie. But let's say you dread it, you hate it. So play some good music, dance while you're doing it. Do something fun. It doesn't have to be drudgery. Just make it part of the routine.
Yeah. Let us know, guys, if you think these are something that you could try, the hangers or the daily pickup, that kind of thing. Or does that feel like too much? Does that feel like you can't keep on top of it? We would love to hear.
We scared you, yeah, exactly. Because we can get really excited and passionate, and we're not trying to imply everything's easy, but there is a way to do it. And I know, Joanna, you do the same thing. If somebody's resistant, somebody's struggling, we do a lot of talking. It's almost like being a counselor, because we're trying to figure out why you're reacting that way, rather than just telling you have to do it our way. Yeah. We want to do it your way, but help you find a better way for you.
Oh yeah, that is so true. You're right. And and honestly, not to get too deep, but they're probably, if you can't pick up every single day, or if you're really struggling to figure out what to keep and what not to keep, first of all, that's okay. Like there are lots of things that we can't do, right? So if you need to hire an expert, you need to hire an expert. But also it might be worth exploring what's going on. If it is feeling so overwhelming or just not exciting in any way to be getting dressed, you could be out of alignment with your personal style. You could it happens a lot as we're changing, as our lifestyle changes. And just taking some time for that, like, personal reflection, and maybe then that block will go away.
Yeah, yeah. I guess maybe I'll make it my last tip, but something along those lines is, if you're struggling and you just can't get over the hurdle, there's a really great technique, and a lot of folks with neurodivergency are aware of this, but body doubling. And that is the idea. I do it virtually, where I'm in the room on Zoom with you, or you could have a sister or friend come over. They might be helping you with the project, the closet.
Mm-hmm.
They may just be sitting in there talking to you, but it helps anchor you. It helps keep you accountable. It helps keep you focused. And that can be a way to get over a roadblock. I think it's super duper effective. So if you have that person in your life, use them, and then be that person for them. If you don't, that's something I help people with.
Yeah, that is true. That accountability is really important. I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Yep. That's great. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions before we wrap it up? I mean, I feel like I learned a ton.
Me too. I need to go look at my closet, my style.
Yes. That is the first step. Find the style and then get into the closet, for sure. For sure. And it's hard, we're all unique and individuals, just like our closets. And it can definitely be hard. Yeah. But I think for sure, I think if you guys are feeling like overwhelmed, these are some good tips. Steph says, hi guys, love all the tips. Question about hangers. What are the best hangers for cardigans to not get the shoulder bumps? Okay, firstly, Margaret, I'll let you say what kind of hangers, but for me, it's about how you're hanging them. And I actually have some videos on this, and I can try and pull them up and repost them. But instead of hanging a sweater, I can grab one, hanging a sweater like a regular shirt, I recommend folding it over the hanger. It's just smaller, more compact, easier to see, and it won't stretch out the issues or stretch out the fabrics. But Margaret, do you have a kind of hanger you like?
Well, I'll start with the kind of hanger I really, really don't like, and that is wire hangers. They're just all kinds of don't work. So the next level up, which honestly I think works for most people, and it's not glitzy, glamorous, or anything else, but it's just the plastic rounded hangers that you get at the dollar store or Walmart. Maybe not the dollar store, a nicer quality so the neck doesn't break. But those are actually fairly decent because they're not just a thin wire that you're putting things on. After that, and I wouldn't do this for all my clothes. It gets expensive and it takes up a lot of room in the closet. But if you've got, especially like I like Joanna's idea about the cardigan, but if you really must hang it, the padded type, because you got to get so that it's not a narrow surface that you're hanging this over.
Yeah.
I do have some people, and you have to do this in a good way, but some people have a nice setup for folding sweaters and cardigans. Think bookshelf style. Think like at a store where you see everything and it's folded so you can see just the outer edge. It's not like just stuffed in.
Yeah.
So if you've got the right kind of shelving, folding works too.
I agree, and that probably depends on your actual setup, because you don't want to be overstuffing like you mentioned earlier. You still want to make sure, even if it's folded, that it's visible, because if you can't see it, you are not going to be reaching for it or wearing it. So I do try and get people to hang as much as possible, but it kind of varies situation to situation. And then Steph also said, how do I handle nice dresses I love but don't fit? Just like we mentioned earlier, if it's not fitting you and you love it, I would love for you to keep it. Keep it. If it's sentimental, just put it somewhere that you can store it safely, in a box somewhere out of sight, out of the prime real estate in your closet. And hopefully one day you could go back to it or pass it on or find someone else to love it just as much as you did. But you don't have to get rid of it. I will never force people to get rid of things. Never. That is totally up to you and your readiness. But don't keep it in the closet, because you want to make space for things that do fit and that bring you joy right now and that you want to wear today.
And I probably am a little bit of a different answer than that, Joanne. I'm real close to you, but I'm a little bit different answer, because if you stash that dresses somewhere else, and now I'm organizing it with you, I'm still going to find them when we get to that space.
Sure.
So
are you, do you not kind of approve of people having like sentimental boxes or things like that to keep somewhere?
Yes, but boundaries. So like not every dress, like if, for instance, if everything's special, honestly, nothing's special. Also,
Yeah.
the reality of people going in and just looking at a dress because it was special to them, it doesn't really happen very often, so you're keeping things. So Joanna, I'm totally like you. I am not going to arm twist. I'm not going to make people get rid of something, but I'm going to make suggestions. So in this case, going back to taking a picture, um, have a folder on your phone of special things, and it could be a picture of a dress, a thing, a person, whatever, but just those things that make you feel good. You don't really need the dress to get the feels. You just need to see the picture of it.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a picture of the past and the present. Also, in your mind's eye, have a picture of the future. And that is, okay, I take it to thrift store. And remember those times that you found a really good deal and you're like, ah, picture somebody else feeling that way. Picture somebody else going to a special event in that dress. And, really feel that blessing. It feels just as good as opening a bin and looking at a dress. So if you need to keep it, fine, but boundaries, if you can let it go and just hang on to memories, if you have a picture and what you're imagining, that
Yeah.
works too.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also sometimes good to look at the item and think about what you loved about it. Maybe you had a dress and you loved it because of, like you said, I don't know, you wore it to your grandma's birthday and it was really important to you or something. But maybe you loved the way it made you feel because of the color or the fabric. And then there's something like together, we could shop, or you could shop to find something that gives you that same feeling, or to replicate whatever it was that you loved about the item, and find it again for who you are today, for your body today, for where you're going today. And then you won't feel the need to hang on to something. It won't be serving you the same way.
Absolutely. You should love who you are today. And keeping the right things that fit that goes a long way in self-care.
Yes. Well, I feel like I need to get into my own closet. I can speak honestly that I do not have good lighting. So I'm going to go and I'm going to update that. That's my goal this week.
Yeah. And if you don't know how to do good lighting, okay, you can talk to me. You also can just go on to Amazon. You can Google things, and there's strip bars. I'm not a fan of the lights where you push it. That doesn't work very well. But there's strips where you can pull a cord, and the technology's amazing. So if you can dream it, it's out there.
Okay, great. Well, did you guys get any other tips that you think you can implement? I would love to hear if there's anything you're going to put into action today in your own closets. Let us know. If you don't follow me, I'm Joanna Heyman, and I'm a fashion stylist. I loved chatting with you guys today. You can reach me here on Instagram. Send me a DM if you have a personal question you want to talk about or talk further. And anyone who adds comments now, we'll be sure to address them in the replay.
And I'm Margaret Zielinski. I have Unjumbled as my virtual organizing business. My handle is at Unjumbled Home. And that's what I do. I unjumble lives and homes.
Yeah. And
we're passionate about helping you guys.
We are. And I love chatting with you, Margaret. I definitely want to do this again. I learned a lot. So if you guys want us to talk again, let us know what topics you'd like us to chat about from an organizer perspective and from a styling perspective, because we work hand in hand.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a great day. I'll see you soon, Margaret.
Bye, guys. Bye, Joanna.
Bye. Maybe. If I know how to end it. Let's see.
Well, we can just stay and eat lunch together.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Here we go. Bye.